Welcome to another episode of KRSchannel Funk. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of KRSchannel Astrology. And today, we are going to be talking about the main man, the man who has the world on his fingertips. That's none other than our Joe Rogan. So yeah, today I wanted to actually discuss the horoscope of Joe Rogan, because apparently they actually have the time of birth of Joe Rogan given on Astro Theme. So I'm going to be using that chart to show you, and again, you're going to see the magic of nakshatras, not the zodiac signs, nakshatras. Again, I'm going to say this again. These are 27 lunar mansions. These are the more refined zodiac sign within a zodiac sign. This is the strongest part of the Hindu astrology, Vedic astrology, which I practice. So this way you can pinpoint things. So in Joe Rogan's horoscope, and first of all, I have to actually apologize to my audience that I, uploaded this podcast so late, because the entire day I was in this midst of multiple transaction regarding my car or truck, you can say, because today I gave back one of my cars once the lease was over, and I needed another car, and I needed a truck because, especially here in Texas, there's a lot of rugged land, and especially I have land in Texas, and to reach that particular part of the land, it requires truck. It requires a full 4-wheel drive, and literally I've been out of my home since 1:30 p.m. and I got back home at 7:45 p.m. I am so beat. I just want to curl up in bed, turn the fan on, close the lights, turn the AC on, and just go to sleep. Yes, even in this winter, I'm in my 40s, guys. I need a fan and I need an AC. I think that's a Texas thing too. So, here's the first thing you should know with Joe Rogan's horoscope. He is born as a Taurus ascendant. And here's the thing, here's the kicker. His ascendant nakshatra is Kritika, because his ascendant is at 2 degrees Taurus in sidereal Vedic astrology. So Kritika nakshatra, remember I was talking about these refined zodiac signs when within each zodiac sign. So the nakshatra of Kritika spans from 26.40 arc degrees of Aries all the way till 10 degrees of Taurus is the nakshatra of Kritika. Who is Kritika? Kritika is a royer. Kritika is a fighter. Kritika is Kartikeya. Even though Kritika is Agni. Here's what do we know about Agni? Meaning fire. Kritika is represented by the god of fire. Fire represents creativity. Fire represents passion. Fire represents Dharma. And whenever you got to understand, a fire sparks from a very small point, and it can burn down thousands of acres of forest. So it's light, right? It's really bright and light. Like even at night, if a forest is burning, you can see light miles down. That means such a person is able to give their light to the world. Like they will shine in the world. Also, Kritika represents weapons, knives, swords, and especially nowadays, guns. And what do we know about Joe Rogan? He's a fighter. I believe jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts. He loves hunting because if you know, he loves eating elk if you have watched any of his podcasts. I think maybe subconsciously, that's when I also maybe started liking wild game meat like elk, bison, caribou, wild boar. I have enormous passion for, a wild game meat versus any meat that is like done in the factory. I love the fact that it's hunted. It is in nature, in its most raw form. So clearly, just his ascendant nakshatra gives us the biggest clue of his life. And now here's a secret about astrology. Do you want to know the path of your soul? What is the path of your soul? The ascendant nakshatra lord, meaning the planet that controls the nakshatra of your ascendant, becomes the Dharma lord. Dharma is the righteous deed your soul is here to do. You will not feel fulfilled unless you are pursuing your Dharma. So, in Joe Rogan's chart, Kritika Nakshatra is ruled by Sun. And where's Sun placed? In the third house with Jupiter and Mercury. Okay? In Ashlesha Nakshatra. So, a lot of things can be seen here. First thing we see is that part of his Dharma is to become part of media. Simple as that. With Ashlesha Nakshatra, one will always either be involved in movement of the body, hidden secrets, mysticism, playing that psychological warfare. And Ashlesha is an hypnotic individual. People get hypnotized by Ashlesha individual. And third house also represents what? Athleticism. And Sun is with the significator of athleticism, Mercury. Okay. So we see his Dharma is towards becoming this media individual, media personality. And especially if you look, Ashlesha is a nakshatra that attracts a person towards deep into spirituality. Ashlesha represents chemicals. And I'm not even making these things up. So if you're new to KRS world, okay, you can read my book, Nakshatras at the Speed of Light, which you can download from lulu.com. Or whenever you get my readings or my books from my website, astrologycares.com, you will get my book, digital book. In there, when you read this nakshatra, I clearly say, this is a nakshatra of mysticism, spirituality, and chemicals. Now, what do we know about Joe Rogan? He constantly has used DMT. Okay? Ayahuasca. Then, because of that, he had spiritual experiences where he understood what world is. At the same time, Ashlesha represents the hidden secrets, the hidden world of the Nagas, the serpents. And so he's always fascinated with inviting guests on his media podcast, quote unquote media, to talk about all these unusual things in the world. If you look at Joe Rogan's face, just look at his face for 10 or 15 or 20 seconds. You will see this face of a serpent, especially with his ears, and his face has these eyes of a serpent and these ears of the serpent. At the same time, the planet that is supposed to bring him the money, okay? How is he going to make them? How is this person who's born on August 11th, 1967 at 12:05 a.m. in Newark, New Jersey? If you were to look at this chart as I am, how will this person make money? Well, the way we look at this is by looking at the Artha Lord. Artha in Vedic astrology represents work. The work that has to be done. And in his case, his Artha Lord is